have a little tour of my new kitchen. I'm just going to go through with you some of the things that you can see here because a few people have already asked where I bought stuff. So let's get started. I'm going to start with the tea towels. The first one is just from TK Maxx. The second one though, this is from a shop in Positano. This is 100% linen and it's hand printed on linen. It is from the Da Vincenzo restaurant shop, which was in the last video that you saw. So that's from there, and I chose that because the colours just went perfectly with everything else here. So the painting at the top there is from a local artist, friend of mine, Marina Pane, and you can find her on the little alleyway walking down to the beach near the Palazzo Marat Hotel. She sells prints and paintings there in the summer, so you can find her there and get one of her paintings. That's the first one I bought, and I bought that probably about 25 years ago. And the reason I love that painting is because the beach in the painting is made with sand from the beach in Positano. So below that we have some lovely little bottles here. Now, this is a bottle of olive oil. This hasn't been used yet. This was gifted to me from Da Vincenzo's shop. Federica is a friend of mine and it's her shop, and she gave me this. I absolutely love this bottle, and it's got a very, very good extra virgin olive oil in it, and we're going to use that on salads in the summer. But the bottle is going to live up here next to these other two bottles, which are from a shop in Positano called Always Positano, also featured in last week's video. And those are going to live up there. They could put flowers in them, but I think they look fine just like that. On this shelf, this little mug here was a present from Elizabeth, and this was actually made by Bob Art in Praiano. Now, if you've been watching my videos for the last year or so, you would have seen me and Elizabeth visiting the Bob Art shop. He does all the little ceramics that are embedded in the walls around Praiano, and the little nativity scenes along the streets that you can see along the coast road. And he made this mug for me, and that is one of my favourite mugs. I drink out of that every day. Where I keep my tea bags. So these are just the tea bags that I'm using day to day. So this is just decaffeinated black tea. That's my preferred tea bag. And I bought this in John Lewis in England. And this teapot was given to my dad as a gift, but he didn't want it, so he gave it to me. And it is actually from a school friend of mine from my elementary school. It's a girl I went to school with when I was 4 years old, and we became very good friends all the way back then. And then our parents became very good friends, and they are still very good friends. And Rachel now looks after my dad when I'm not there. She's always popping around, giving him little presents, little cards and stuff. And this is from her. It's actually only from Sainsbury's. It's Sainsbury's Home, but it's a perfect size teapot for me. Now, down here, I've already had a few people ask about this beautiful plate. This is a classic Positano painted plate, and this is a wedding gift. In Italy, when you go to a wedding, all of the guests get a gift from the bride and groom at the end of the wedding. So they're called a bomboniera. So I've got a few of those around here. So this is a bomboniera from our friends Antonio and Antonia, who got married in 2012.
Ma quello l'ha fatto lei, no?
And this is actually painted by Antonia herself. She has her own ceramics shop here in Positano, and this is one of her designs. So that's on the wall there, and I actually do use this when we've got people over for lunch and we need a lot of big plates and stuff. That's a good serving plate. This olive oil bottle, I bought myself this as a special treat because it was quite expensive. This is from Casa e Bottega. Did you see me nearly drop that? So this is from Casa e Bottega down in town, and if you don't know what Casa e Bottega is, it's a beautiful little cafe stroke shop, and it's all healthy food in there and beautiful ceramics. And I bought this last week. A little Le Creuset pot which has my coarse salt in it, so that I can just quickly grab some salt when I need to, when I'm cooking. If you were watching at Christmas, you might have seen this was one of my Christmas presents from Dad. So I got a new pepper grinder. And some more salts here. I thought I'd quickly tell you about this. So you might recognise these when we were travelling back through France after Christmas. We stopped off with Darren and Darla, and Darla gave me a champagne bucket full of little goodies, French goodies. So this is some of the salt. There's just a little bit left in there. And then this was fig jam from the same gift box, and now it's got wild garlic salt in, which I made last week. And when I went to England, it was wild garlic season, so Dad picked a whole load, and I brought it back with me, and I made some wild garlic salt. And a couple of people have already mentioned that they've got one of these yellow chocolate jugs. This is a real 80s classic. This was in my mum's kitchen, and when Dad moved house, I found it in the back of a cupboard, and he said I could have it. So that's here now, and I just thought that was perfect for keeping all the utensils in, and it's just a nice little splash of colour against all the pinks and greens. The kettle I bought about 1.5 years ago. This was exactly what I had in mind for the kitchen. I already knew what I wanted, and when I saw that kettle, I knew that that kettle was going to be part of it. It was quite an expensive kettle, but it's cordless, so it's not going to break. It should be here forever. We have some honey here. It's a big pot of honey, but it's nearly finished. Now, if you were watching back in December, we went to stay at Chateau Le Rosier with Amy and Mark for a couple of nights, and they gave us this as a leaving present, and it's nearly finished, so we might have to go back and get some more. This is the honey that they produce on their land, and it's lavender honey, and it's really, really good. Behind that there's just some 2 old terracotta pots that were already on the property, and we painted them with Annie Sloan chalk paint and waxed them, and they're absolutely fine like this. So one's for eggs and one's for garlic and shallots. My knife block. So in a video 1 year or 2 ago, I think I must have complained that my knives weren't very sharp, and within a week this had arrived in the post from my dad, who is the best present giver ever. He always picks up on something that I need or something that I'm missing and sends it to me. So this was a really, really needed present, and of course we all chopped our fingers to pieces in the first few weeks until we got used to them. And they are Zwilling knives from Germany, and they're in a self-sharpening knife block. So when you put the knife back in, it self-sharpens it.
Volevo dire che questi coltelli sono eccezionali. Prima di questo avevamo dei coltelli che facevano schifo.
Yeah. And this lovely pot here. So this pot we bought on the roadside. There's a lay-by when you're coming into Sorrento. If you're coming from Naples, when you're coming into Sorrento, there's a lay-by with the most fantastic view, and many people stop there just to take a few photos of the coastline of Sorrento. But there's always a guy with a truck selling something or other, and we picked up this pot for about €20. I mean, nothing. It's a ceramic pot painted, and then another time we went there and they were selling beautiful plants. So the little palm tree that's in a blue pot by the bed swing is from that lay-by. And there's another couple of plants out in the garden that we bought there as well. You never quite know what you're going to find. Sometimes it's just chestnuts or melons or something, but other times you can get ceramics. Okay, there's a plate up there. I can't reach it, so I'm not going to bring it down. That is a gift from some friends. My birthday in the year 2000. It's like a little plate for snacks. It's got 3 sort of bowls in it, so you can put olives, peanuts, and whatever else in. This is another bottle from always Positano. Obviously it goes with the ones over there, and this is the bigger one. And I just thought that yellow there balances out that yellow down there. Another teapot here from Dad, of course. This is a Bowden teapot. It's one of the ones where you put loose tea in and then you just press it down. I suppose that might work for coffee as well. I don't know. I'm gonna drink coffee, so no, it's not. And then here we've got some of the lovely stuff. So these 2 bowls, these are 2 salad bowls from Ceramica Assunta, which is one of the ceramic shops in Positano. They've got a whole range with shellfish and creepy crawlies from the sea in, and they're really great. So I love those, and I use them all the time. And they are kept up there. And then there's some more. I've got a whole collection here. So there's a little one here, and these are so handy. This one I actually picked up from a second-hand shop, so that's not really part of the collection. But then there's a lobster one here, and an anchovy one here.
Questa è la mia favorita.
Yeah, and they all look great. I mean, when you just put them all on the table together in a big mug, it makes it look really colourful. The champagne bucket that I got from Dana with all the goodies in it from France, and I'm sure that will come in useful in the summer when it's hot outside and we need to keep drinks cool. and there's just a cake tin up there that I had to buy because we've got a very, very naughty cat who, even though he's blind, he has figured out how to climb up onto all the tables and eat anything that is left out. So cakes go in a cake tin, and I bought that in a kitchen shop in Weybridge in Surrey, lovely.
Volevo dire, nostro gatto non ci vede, ma trova sempre la strada per il cibo.
I see. He's got a great nose. Just some of the cookery books that I use more than all of the others here. I'll let you have a look at the names of them, and I suppose I use these ones quite a lot. And I couldn't be without my Amazon. Cos'è questo? Un Echo?
Ecco, cibo.
This is an Amazon Echo that Carlo bought, and I sort of poo-pooed him, but now I can't live without this, because with this I can listen to radio in England, so I listen to BBC Radio 2 mostly, and I just ask her to put it on, and I get to listen to that while I'm cooking or whatever I'm doing in the kitchen. And I can also listen to my audiobooks if I want to, podcasts. I can even make video calls on it. We don't really do that very often with it, but it's very useful. And also, if I'm cooking from an American cookbook, for example, which has got old-fashioned measurements in it, and I have no idea what they are, I can just say, Alexa, what is 2 ounces in grams?
2 ounces is about 56.7 grams.
There we go. My biggest problem in the kitchen, and it's always been, no matter where I've been and what kitchen I've been in, because we don't have a dishwasher, is somewhere to put the plates when they're drying. In Italy, most kitchen sinks are against a wall, and they have a cupboard above the kitchen sink which has its base missing, and then they have a dish rack in the cupboard, so you wash your dishes and you put them up in the dish rack. But I wanted my kitchen sink in front of the window, so there was no chance of having that cupboard there. So we had to come up with another idea, and I didn't want a big ugly metal dish rack on the side. So I hunted and hunted and hunted, and eventually found this one from Joseph and Joseph, which actually extends. So when I'm washing stuff, I can open it and then I can close it, and it's nice and neat and tidy. And behind it, there's a lovely mosaic egg lamp that Carlo and I bought when I was 8 months pregnant, and we went to Sharm el Sheikh in Egypt for a week because we suddenly realised that we'd never had a holiday together, and we were never going to have a chance again to have a holiday together without a child, and we decided to quickly go and have a little break. So we went to Sharm el Sheikh, and we ended up buying that lamp as a memory of our holiday, and that's now living in the kitchen and looks lovely at night time. It's lovely and cosy. Next to that, we've just got a few plants in pots, nothing special really, apart from, this is the family tree of American rock. My parents had this and the family tree of English rock in the kitchen when I was growing up, and I said to Dad a few years ago, if you ever don't want those 2 pictures, I'll have them, and he gave them to me. So I've got one here, and there's one in the other room as well. So those are really useful because you can look at them and you can see all the names of all the bands, and people will sit there for hours watching them. And that is pretty much it in this side of the kitchen. Over here, as you walk into the kitchen, we've just got the sort of breakfast bar almost. There's a toaster from Morphy Richards that I brought back from England, some Cornishware mugs. These, by the way, if you are interested in buying these, I've put them on my Amazon store. I've got an Amazon store where you can go and see all the products that we use for vlogging, the things that we've got around the house and garden, anything that you can get on Amazon that we've bought. We've linked all there, even some beauty favourites, a lot of the books I've read, books on the Amalfi Coast. It's all on my Amazon store, and the link's in the description box below the video, so you can go and have a look if you want to check that out. And here is all the plates that we use. Most of my plates are from second-hand stores, so they're all completely mismatched, and all cost between €2 and €10 each, not much at all. And those are the ones we use every day. And here, tea bags, dog biscuits, chia seeds, tea bags, rice, dates, sesame seeds, just stuff that we use a lot in day-to-day life. And that's it. Oh, and the lamp is from Maison du Monde. Here we've got some William Morris salt and pepper shakers. I picked them up in TK Maxx. And this lovely little vase here, which I bought in a little shop in Piana di Sorrento. It was very cheap, it was only about €12. And this fantastic new mug. I absolutely love this. It's a travel mug, so it's metal, it won't break. And it's got a lid with a little drinking hole. And it's been personalised for me. And that is from a lovely lady called Sue. We are still waiting for our stools to arrive. They have been delayed. I think a lot of things around Europe are delayed at the moment. I'm not sure whether it's because of COVID or Brexit or whatever, but they've been delayed and looks like they're not going to arrive for another couple of months. So at the moment we're sitting on very, very low chairs and we're eating like little kids up at the counter like this. But unfortunately there's nothing else we can do. We can't even eat on the sofa anymore because a certain puppy is not quite trained enough to sit quietly and watch and wants to eat everything on our plates. So that is my kitchen tour. I hope you enjoyed it.